Mary wakes up early and prepares for her first day at school. Her uncle Frank makes the breakfast. But he isn't just her uncle, he is her father as well. And he brings her up after Mary's mother passed away when she was young. But Mary is unhappy and doesn't want to attend school because she thinks that she doesn't need to go to school and she doesn't enjoy interacting with others. However, her uncle informs her that she has to attend school. After that, Mary rides the bus to school. In the initial class, a math instructor named Bonnie is showing the children how to add and subtract. In the meantime, Mary feels uninterested as the teacher instructs the kids on very basic equations. But Bonnie is irritated by Mary's rude behavior and tells Mary to lift her hand before she speaks. After that, Bonnie poses her some tough questions. But surprisingly, Mary responds to the questions despite her young age. Then, Bonnie poses another question to multiply a big number in math. Even though students utilize a calculator to solve this question, they fail to find the answer. Additionally, Mary is slow in responding. And due to that, Bonnie believes that Mary doesn't have the answer, then finishes the lesson. Out of the blue, Mary responds to her with the outcome. Bonnie is taken aback by her, and she can't talk. At that moment, Bonnie figures out the numbers and is astonished when she realizes that Mary responds correctly. At the same time, the principal of the school greets the new students. But Mary talks to her in a rude manner and communicates with her like a young adult. Mary then asks the headmistress to contact Frank to pick her up from this place. Eventually, her uncle arrives and brings her home. When Bonnie spots Frank, she realizes that he visits a bar every Friday. Additionally, she understands that he is emotionally crushed. Bonnie approaches Frank to chat with him and they become acquainted. He apologizes to her for Mary's actions and explains that she is anxious because it is her first day at school. But Bonnie informs him that she doesn't wish to discuss the girl's actions. She informs him that she believes Mary is skilled and she responds to challenging questions for her age. Frank informs her that Mary discovered how to tackle mathematical problems in a manner that was utilized in the camps previously without a calculator. And he tells her not to be shocked because he picked up this trick when he was 8 years old. Frank then goes with Mary to the house. By the way, he is a machinist fixing boats in the port and tells Mary that she broke her promise. They agree not to display her intelligence in front of the other kids and teachers as he wants them to treat her like an ordinary child. Mary then apologizes to him. Eventually, they head to the boat on the water together and Mary plays on the shore with her cat. Every day, Mary attends school and attempts to handle the other kids. Today, Mary has a test. Bonnie hands the students the sheets for the test. After she hands the students the papers, Mary informs her that she has completed the exam. However, Bonnie is not shocked. After that, Bonnie administers a test at the level of a college student. She wants to find out Mary's skill level and if she can tackle this or not. Unexpectedly, Mary completes the exam without any issues and gazes at the teacher with a self-assured expression. After class, Bonnie goes to search for Mary's last name. She discovers that her name is Diane, a well-known mathematician and has a strong reputation in her field because she solved challenging equations. The whole world didn't know how to fix them, but she understands that Mary's mother took her own life for an unclear reason and passed away. After that, her uncle Frank brought her up. Bonnie visits the bar where Frank is located and encounters him there. She informs him that she wishes to learn the truth about Mary and presents him with the exam that Mary completed. Frank informs her that a while back, he had a date. But his sibling, the mother of Mary, wished to share something with him. He said to her that when he returns, they would discuss. But when he returned from the date, he discovered Mary by herself on the couch, and his sister had taken her own life in the bathroom. He then states that Mary's dad left his family from the time when Mary was little and states that from that day, Mary's conduct altered. But Bonnie informs him that Mary is truly a genius. Frank claims he is aware of that, but he doesn't want anyone to find out to regard her like any other student. The following day, Mary is on the bus, and they all have a task about animals. While every student has a plan for their project, there is a kid walking with his work. But a bullying kid trips him, and he shatters his project. Mary is upset, so she strikes the bullying kid with a large book in his face, causing him to bleed. Later, Frank is summoned due to what Mary did, and he goes to the principal. She informs him that she is aware that Mary is a prodigy, and she can offer her a complimentary scholarship to the Oaks Academy for talented kids. But Frank informs her that his family faced many issues with the Oaks math schools, and he doesn't want Mary to experience the same as his family. He then informs her that he won't support this scholarship. The following day, Mary apologizes to all the children for her actions and informs them that she will not strike anyone again. After that, she has the entire class applaud for the child, who has the broken project, and states that he was the best of them all. Then, Frank brings her home to see her grandma, Evelyn. This is the first time Mary sees her. In the meantime, her grandma gives Mary a costly laptop and mentions that there is a math book on this laptop. But Mary informs her that she read this book a while back, and she is at a higher level now. Eventually, Evelyn accompanies Frank. He informs her that he is aware the headmistress contacted her and made her arrive, then inquires why she is visiting her granddaughter for the first time in 7 years. In the meantime, Evelyn informs him that this isn't the moment or the appropriate setting for her to share with him, and informs him that the location where they reside isn't appropriate for them. Evelyn then walks away, since he doesn't respond to her. Frank walks into the house and sees Mary studying a math book on her new laptop, but he remembers something and approaches Evelyn once more. He informs her that his sister Diane noted on the suicide letter that no one should allow Mary to stay with her grandma, and she wishes for Mary to have a regular life. But Evelyn informs him that she can offer Mary a lavish life. Frank halts her and states that she wishes for Mary to spend her life with mathematicians, and he won't allow it to occur. Right now, Evelyn is feeling very anxious and requests him to have positive thoughts about Mary's life, or she will submit a case to obtain custody of her. One day, Frank is in the house and sees Mary reading a math book constantly. He invites her to go out, but she likes staying at home to study. So, Frank compels her to go out, as he doesn't want her to be shy. After some time, it's the first occasion that Evelyn files against Frank for custody of Mary. The session concludes with a request for another day, following an inspection of the location where Mary resides, and this is due to Evelyn's attorney asserting that Mary resides with her uncle in an inappropriate home. Frank then requests Roberta, their neighbor, to bring Mary over tonight. Roberta is similar to Mary's mom and cares for her deeply. At the same time, Frank is at the bar and encounters Bonnie there. She informs him that she feels unhappy when she learns about Mary's custody situation, and she understands that she will locate him here. They then sit together chatting all night. At the same time, Bonnie inquires, "What is your biggest fear?" But it is obvious he is down, as he fears losing Mary. Then, they begin to like one another, and they head to Frank's place. At this moment, Bonnie feels bad to be with a guardian of her student by herself. On the following day, Mary departs from Roberta's home and heads to meet Frank, but sees her teacher there and glances at Bonnie with a smile. Bonnie feels very ashamed and moves swiftly. Frank speaks anxiously with Mary, and he is yelling at her because she departed from Roberta's house without consulting him. He accuses her for embarrassing him and says that he can't have even 5 minutes to himself because of her. So, Mary is weeping and goes into her room, but after some time, Frank apologizes to her for what occurred. Then, Frank receives a letter from the court. The court requests that Mary should visit her grandma for 2 days. Mary visits her grandma Evelyn, and she shares pictures of her mom Diane with Mary. At the same time, Bonnie is speaking with Frank and expresses her fear of being expelled from the school due to her actions. The following day, Evelyn brings Mary to the university, and she reveals to Mary a wall of recognition featuring 7 empty frames, apart from one. These images are for those who figured out the 7 hardest mathematical problems in history. Then, she displays a picture of an equation known as Navier-Stokes with the name Diane written below it, and it isn't Diane's name because she was close to resolving it, but she passed away. She then informs Mary that if Diane had solved it, she would have been awarded the Nobel Prize in Physics and Mathematics. After everything, Mary informs her that her picture will someday be on this wall of recognition. Then, Evelyn brings her to a mathematician, and she has Mary attempt to solve a challenging equation. But Mary doesn't know how to fix it because she is very stressed. Right now, Evelyn is upset with the mathematician as he confuses Mary to quickly solve the equation, and they then stroll. But Mary informs her on their way that there is an error in the equation. So, Evelyn returns to the mathematician, and after a while, Mary fixes an equation and finds the solution. The mathematician and Evelyn are amazed by her brilliance. Once the residency period is over, Mary returns to her home, and her uncle greets her. Then, Mary informs Frank that she cares for her grandma Evelyn, but doesn't wish to reside with her because she is controlling. And Frank then assures her he won't abandon her. On the second day in court, the ruling in Mary's custody matter goes on. Evelyn contacts Mary's dad, who has never met his daughter even once. But he is there as a protector of his daughter. At this moment, Frank's attorney demonstrates that he is never her protector. He had never encountered her before, nor even inquired about her. And the decision in Frank's favor. When Frank gets home, he informs Mary that he spotted her father in court. But Mary is weeping because her dad doesn't even visit her. Frank then brings Mary and Roberta to the hospital. He wishes to show Mary something that brings her joy. There, they continue to wait for hours. But they aren't aware of what Frank wishes to reveal to them. It appears that Frank is waiting to see a family with an expectant daughter. When their child is born, they feel immense joy, and everyone celebrates in the hospital. Later, Frank informs Mary that this is precisely what took place on the day she was born. They spend the observing families celebrate their births in the hospital, and Mary rejoices with him due to her purity. Following multiple court sessions, Frank's attorney talks to him and presents an offer. He recommends placing Mary in a care home to be taken in by an appropriate family. Frank gets really anxious, but the lawyer requests him to assist him and states this is an appropriate answer to please both sides. The attorney then cautions Frank that the judge could allow Evelyn to win the trial, as she is wealthy and will provide Mary with a better life. Then, he tells Frank to consider thoughtfully what he mentioned and departs. The following day, Frank concurs with the lawyer's view and heads to meet a nice family who wishes to adopt Mary. He then consents to place Mary under their supervision. After this, the trial concludes without a loss or victory for either side. Frank brings Mary to her new house as she is in tears. She requests that he not abandon her, but he informs her that he will bring her once a month to be with him and Roberta. Later, when she matures, she might decide to stay with him. She is weeping and tells him that he assures her he will be with her always. And now he shatters his vow. Frank approaches to embrace her, but she strikes him while sobbing. And when he departs, Mary yells that Frank will abandon her. After some time, Bonnie approaches Frank and soothes him while he is busy. He continues to speak about Mary and shares with Bonnie his background with her, and he is very upset because they took her. At this moment, Frank is very anxious and departs from Bonnie. However, the following day, Bonnie discovers Mary's cat available for adoption. She snaps a picture of the ad and sends it to Frank. Frank quits his job and heads to the animal shelter. There, he realizes that a person who is allergic to cats sent the cat. Frank ensures that Evelyn is the one who did this since she is allergic to cats. And certainly the individuals who took Mary are part of Evelyn. Frank and Roberta visit them, and they discover that Mary is with her grandma Evelyn. He invites Mary to join him, but Mary declines and dashes out of the house. Frank leaves a journal for Evelyn before he heads out to Mary. This notebook is composed by Mary's mother, and Evelyn discovers that her daughter Diane solved the Navier-Stokes equation before she passed away. Now, Evelyn's strategy for the custody of Mary to resolve the equation in the future fails. Outside, Frank embraces Mary. She hits him because he abandoned her, but Frank apologizes and assures her not to do it again. Mary weeps and states they took her cat away from her, but Frank soothes her and informs her that the cat is with him. Next, they return to Evelyn, and Frank speaks to her in private. In the meantime, Evelyn claims that Frank is not telling her the truth. Additionally, she informs him that if Diane truly solved the equation, she would announce it to everyone. But Frank mentions that Diane informed him before she passed away not to release this notebook until after Evelyn's death. Evelyn is stunned and Frank abandons her with a notebook. He then takes Mary and heads home. Even though he wasn't meant to give her the notebook, he did this to keep Mary safe. After a short while, Evelyn opens the notebook and notices her daughter's tears on the pages. She collapses and begins to weep as she caused her daughter to feel hopeless before her suicide. Additionally, she speaks through tears to the mathematician to inform everyone that her daughter Diane has solved the Navier-Stokes equation. After a few months, Mary starts as a student at the university despite her young age. Frank then picks her up after her classes, and they head to the children's playground. There, she plays with her buddy like the other children.